Thank you on that. Yes, yeah, I got all the opens and the bumper music and all that. Yep. One minute, Terrence. 1 minute, guys. Huh? Starting what? Yes. 10 seconds.
This is the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour,
supported by Albertsons
and brought to you by
Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys. Lucchese, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. And by Omni. Omni Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's Victory Monday!
Now your hosts, Haley Sutton and Brad Chan.
And welcome, it is Victory Monday. Happy Halloween, everybody. We came dressed as ourselves, but the Victory Monday fan club came dressed as the Victory Monday fan club. Good for you guys. We have moved downstairs. We're still in the Star District in Frisco, but drop by, and for the next few shows, we are at Cane Rosso, and what a great place to hang out and have a beverage and have, I've heard good things about their pizza. You're going to find out personally and report back to us.
Yes, I also want to preface, too, I'm a pizza snob. I'm very particular about my pizza. Like a pepperoni pizza just doesn't do it for me, so I'm excited to, I think I got the prosciutto and arugula. So I'm excited.
We've just opened a whole new line of conversation. It is
last week it was Halloween. This week
yes,
it's pizza.
It's Victory Monday because the Cowboys ran their record to 6-2 going into their bye week, and we welcome those of you who are here at Cane Rosso. Please come in and join us. And if you're listening anywhere on the Dallas Cowboys radio network, we're delighted to have you with us. And wherever you are watching us streaming on DallasCowboys.com. Howdy. Nice to see you. And the chair over there, which for those of you listening on the radio doesn't help you a lot, but the one next to Haley is soon, momentarily, to be filled by Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa. He's on his way. Maybe he didn't know how to get to the Star area. I'm not sure. But
yeah, maybe the golf cart was a little late picking him up.
Maybe. Because they're off. They're off all week. And we don't. Would you say we have Halloween costumes or just, I don't think
some
we have
of the staff, someone's dressed as an M&M. I saw someone in here
as
dressed
an
as
M&M.
Ghostbusters, which I
love
love
look
a
at
lot.
you. You're
so,
an M&M. Okay, good for you.
Yeah,
Thank you
our
very
waitress
much.
over here was also dressed in some cute, there she is, in some cute leggings. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. Well, happy Halloween, everybody, and thanks for being with us. And so while we await Osa, we'll just tell you that we will be skipping next week. It's the players' bye-week show, even though they're on their bye week this week. It's a little complicated. But no show next week, and then in 2 weeks, we'll be back here right here at Cane Rosso. Now, before we take our first break, so we have more room to talk to Osa when he gets here, please say more about being a pizza snob.
I don't know. I just feel like ever since I got like an adult palate, like past college where like Little Caesars pizza was the way to go. There's so many different toppings. There's so many different ways you can have pizza. There's deep dish pizza. There's thin crust pizza. There's stuffed crust pizza. So I feel like you can't just limit yourself to like the stereotypical pepperoni pizza.
We're good so far.
So I always try to branch out a little bit. I always try to find like a unique thing on the menu. Like I've had a carbonara pizza that had an egg in the middle of it, which was incredibly interesting. And very good. So
tomorrow at 11:30 in the morning, your chauffeur is going to take you to your private plane, which is going to take you anywhere in the country. We're going to limit it at first to the country.
Okay.
That you want to go for your favorite pizza, and where shall we design the flight plan?
So I'm actually, it's so funny that you built that up.
Because you are going on a private plane tomorrow.
I am not going on a private plane tomorrow. But I am going out of town. I'm actually going to Chicago. So I'm really, really excited. I've heard really good things about deep dish pizza in Chicago.
You've never had it?
No, I've never been to Chicago. And I've been in Texas or when I was in Montana when I first started working. Montana doesn't have pizza up there.
Wow. Okay,
So,
well,
yeah.
I'll just tell you that I am a native Chicagoan.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people who like the New York style that you roll up and you don't dare touch it with a fork. And, that's Chicago deep dish pizza.
I will report back to you as soon as I get back. You'll be the first person I text.
It's life-changing, and I'll give you some places to go. Now, when he's about to walk in the door, let's give a big round of applause for Osa Odighizuwa. Give Osa a big round of applause, and we are going to come on. We're going to let him catch his breath. We're going to take our break early, and we're going to have more time to talk to the Cowboys star defensive tackle. Osa Odighizuwa is with us at Cane Rosso in the Star District in Frisco on the Cowboys Hour, and we'll be right back.
supported by Albertsons.
New Cowboys Hour. I was about to read Albertsons live read. When it comes to the top shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's Victory Monday.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow, really?
We're going to run that back, I think.
That's all you got? It's Victory Monday.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
There we go. I like that energy.
Thank you. Now because we didn't want to make Osa get up and have to come back there and walk through the room. So congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the bye.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
Thank you.
How big a deal is the bye?
It's a really big deal. Just a good opportunity for us to get our bodies back, legs back under us, and just recover, take your mind off the game a little bit, and come back refreshed.
I'm going to ask you a question I asked Leighton after the game. It's kind of a big picture question. It's you've been so good as a group defensively. Their running game is unique. It's also leading the league, so it's not like anybody should be surprised they had some success running the ball. And I know they had more success than you intended for them to have. Was it yesterday a game where you just want to encourage people to judge the result, not the stat sheet?
Definitely. I mean, I feel like they did have a little bit more success than we wanted, so we're just going to have to look at the tape, improve on the things that we need to improve on as far as execution, and just keep going. But the result is what the result is. We won the game, so.
Love that energy.
Well, and Leighton said we won the game, and not by a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people do tend to get a little bit lost in that. For you, now in your second year,
Yeah.
how's it roughly at the halfway point of the season? How's it different from last year?
I feel like there's like a little bit of normalcy to things now. Like, it's not my first time doing everything. You know what I mean? Like the second year with the coaching staff, our practice schedule's the same, plays are the same. We're adding some different stuff in here and there, but for the most part, everything is the same scheme-wise. So it's just a little bit easier as far as like processing things and communicating on the field.
You think you're a better team than you were last year?
I'd say so.
Because
I could definitely speak defensively. Just the connection is deeper. You know what I mean? It's a lot of guys coming back on this group. So I feel like the connection, one, with the team and the coaches, just being able to deepen, and I think that's showing.
my recollection of conversations we had last year is that there wasn't anything about being in the NFL that really terribly impressed you, just in football terms.
Yeah.
I remember you saying a few times, yeah, you know, Osa, you're jumping from college football, and yeah, you know, it's kind of the same. It's not all that much harder. Am I quoting you correctly?
Yeah.
And
It's still
so
football at the
it's
end
still
of the day.
football. So is it easier now? You've said it. You're more familiar, but is it easier, or is it still just football?
I mean, it's still football. It's work. You know what I mean? I feel like you're going to get in what you put out. So just adding a little bit more to the process, being a little bit more detailed, is just something that I'm trying to do to be able to improve on this year.
How have you seen yourself grow from that first year into that second year?
I feel like I'm a little bit better at studying tape and just things to look for, just looking at keys and whatnot.
Gotcha. Mike McCarthy always talks about that self-scout. He says that's really important part of y'all's preparation for games every week. How have you kind of interpreted that for yourself? What does self-scout look like for you?
Just constantly looking for things that I can do to improve myself. Self-scout is the most important part of football, you know what I mean? Like, it's more important to know yourself than it is to know your opponent, because if you're in tune with what you need to do, your job, your technique, then you're going to be performing at a high level. Obviously, you want to know what your opponent might do and just being able to scout them and look for keys and be able to add that anticipation piece of the game, but you're the one out there playing, so you got to be in tune with yourself.
And I want to take you back to Sunday's game. This was another performance from this defense, just racking up the stats every week, especially when it comes to getting to the quarterback. You were in on that. And you had a celebration after your sack. Can you just walk us through that celebration for people who maybe didn't see it? Talk about it and where the inspiration came from.
Well, one, I got to hold them for a little bit longer. I tend to kind of spaz out a little bit because I'm excited, so I do it quick. But I was watching 007 a little while ago, and he's, I don't know, just the little gun pose, when he pivots around and points the gun at you. So that's where the celebration came from.
Which you understand, James Bond never does that. That's all just in the animation.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, it doesn't make it any less
Osa
cool
said news to
or
me.
any less 007.
Yeah, it was 007 inspired, just because I had
Cool,
watched
okay.
Casino Royale for the first time, 2 weeks ago.
Okay, very good. Am I noticing a little more suddenness and a little more, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, a little more violence to the way you're attacking the ball and ball carriers this year?
I mean, I would say so. Just one, we feel good. That's something that we like to hang our hat on, is the play style and just being able to be a physical defense. So just taking that to another level this year is something that we're trying to do.
So some of that just confidence?
Definitely. You know what I mean? It's year 2. Like I said, the normalcy of it, you can play a little bit more free.
Is there competition between y'all when it comes to stats, whether it's sacking the quarterback, QB hurries, any of that? Do you guys compete at all?
Definitely. That's just something that we're all trying to do, especially when we get into situations when they actually do pass the ball, because we stop the run so we can have fun and rush the passer. So when it's time to do that, we're racing.
What's your favorite thing? I want to ask it right. Would you rather get a sack, or would you rather stone a guy at the line of scrimmage?
That's a good question.
Thank you. I hope so. It took me forever to come to formulate it.
I mean, it's fun to make plays regardless. Sacks are definitely, I'll probably say, the most fun stat to have, just because pass rushing is super fun to do as a D lineman. That's when you get to be your most athletic self and just, you know what I mean? You're trying to get around the guy. It's kind of almost like running a route as a receiver. So pass rushing is probably the most fun part of being a D lineman, but I'll take a grown man play at the line of scrimmage as well.
When you are approaching that sack, you see the quarterback. Let's take Justin Fields, for example. You're getting to him. Is there a moment in your head where you're like, all right, this is happening? Or what is, kind of walk me through that process and what it feels like to actually get to the quarterback.
I don't know. It just feels good. On mine, I knew what move I was going to do. It worked. And then I just had to, run forward. You know what I mean? Not miss the tackle.
And how often can you repeat a move? You talking about the sack?
Yeah.
You did the move on the sack. How often can you repeat that on the same lineman in the same game?
Like my pass rush move?
Yeah.
As many times as they'll let me win with it.
So do you find that guys, was that your second sack?
Second.
Second sack. There's a bunch of guys on your line who like to hog all the sacks. They don't leave a lot for other guys to get to.
Number 11 in particular, that guy is extremely fast. So it's how fast do I have to win to be able to get there? Fast.
And have you noticed in just a year and a half that offensive linemen tend to be able to figure out your move, so you have to come up with a counter to it, make it look like something, so that you can go to something else and have a better chance of winning?
Definitely. But that's just part of the game within the game, you know what I mean? So you're working a rush, like a fastball, so you can set up your changeup, the one that you really want to use when it's time to win.
So were you a pitcher?
No. That's just the analogy that we use.
I mean, are you into baseball?
Not really.
Not really? Because, that is exactly
It's
what...
okay, I'm not either.
That's exactly what especially starting pitchers will do. They'll pitch a guy a certain way early in the game, do the best they can, but the idea is to set him up for something else later in the game.
Yeah.
It's the exact same mentality, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
What other sports are you into?
I mean, I watch a little bit of basketball here and there. I will watch baseball, like if it's like a championship game or something like that, but it's just a little slow for me.
So you're not hurt that the game tonight got postponed between the Phillies and the Astros?
Oh, it did?
I
You're
had no
telling me
idea.
news. It's raining in Philadelphia?
It is raining in Philadelphia.
Well,
No baseball tonight.
I thought it was always
Breaking
sunny in
news.
Philadelphia. See what I did there? It's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Man,
Thank
this
you.
guy is bringing
Gee
the
whiz.
energy. I
Holy
love
cow.
it.
Did you guys like all have your Halloween party last night? Is that what happened? And wow,
Had a
okay.
great time.
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
But to answer your question, I mean, really basketball. Got into Formula One
Okay.
over the off season. I was watching that show Drive to Survive on Netflix, and it was kind of like just after being on Hard Knocks year one, watching Drive to Survive. I'm like, this is literally just Hard Knocks for F1, and it was really dope to watch. So yeah, that kind of like introduced me to the Formula One world.
Yeah, when it came to, I was in Miami before this, and when it came through Miami last year, it was, or I guess it was earlier this year, but it was incredible just to see, number one, the setup, the way they changed Hard Rock Stadium to be a Formula One track.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane.
I was there as well.
Oh yeah, so you
Yeah.
saw, and it was just crazy to see the celebrities that were out. I mean, people all walking
Everybody.
around. Everybody who was anybody was on that track. So, do you
We
have a
got-
favorite
we-
driver?
I feel like it was dope just like when I started watching Formula One to see Lewis Hamilton, just
Yeah.
obviously like seeing someone that looks like you just dominate a sport like F1 is really dope.
Do you have a favorite driver?
I would say Lewis Hamilton, but I'm very new into the sport, so I know about 3 driver, maybe 2: Max Verstappen and Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, I mean, I got a pretty good introduction to all of them just from watching the show.
Yeah, it's a cool show.
Do they come off as divas?
No, I mean, there's some like little moments where they have, but I was just like, they kind of get to be like, they're really, it's like 2 of them per team. So it is, I mean, it's a team sport because everyone's like, you know, you got the people in the crew that are changing the tires, making sure the car is tuned up and everything like that, the people building the car. So it is a team sport, but like, I could easily see how someone could feel like it's all about them when it's like you and one other guy like driving.
Have you ever been to a NASCAR race?
No.
Any interest?
I feel like I was going to watch people drive. Formula One's a little bit more interesting because they're going way faster, and the course has like multiple turns. It's not
It's an
just a
interesting.
circle.
It's not just a left turn. Is
Yep.
that left in NASCAR?
That's it.
Like they'll be
Just
like
keep
200
turning left.
miles an
Yeah.
hour and then slow down to like 90 miles to make a 90-degree turn, and I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Speaking of cars, and then we're going to take our first break, I'm also remembering that at the buy last year, did you buy a car, or
Yes,
had you bought one in California that you were bringing here?
No, I bought a car last bye week.
Do we dare say what you bought?
Yeah, I got a Porsche, a Cayenne Coupe.
Ooh.
How's that going for you?
I love it.
Okay.
So he can drive his Porsche, and I'm going to get on my personal jet this week.
Exactly. And I'm
That I
gonna-
don't have. I want to be clear. I have no access to a personal jet.
Yet, but it's only 22 minutes after the hour. We are going to take a break. Osa Odighizuwa is our guest tonight. On the Cowboys Hour, we're at Cane Rosso in the Star District in Frisco, and we'll be right back on the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour.
Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
Welcome back to Cowboys Hour, sponsored by Luke Casey, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. That's a new addition to this one, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. But regardless, guys, it's Victory Monday, and we are celebrating here with
Victory Monday!
Osa Odighizuwa.
Holy cow, they're 6-2 for crying out loud. By the way, I don't want to take credit for either just knowing this or having researched it, but I believe I heard today that this is the first time since 1994 and 95 that this team has started 6-2 in consecutive years.
And you're a part of that. How's that feel?
That's dope.
And did you know it's been 11 years since the Cowboys made the playoffs in consecutive years?
I did not.
Okay. There's just another little nugget for you. You can dazzle them with that at the Halloween party later.
One thing about Brad, he's always got the facts. So when we left off, we were talking a little bit about Formula One. So I'm going to kind of piggyback that into getting to know you a little bit better. So what does we've got the bye week coming up. What does a typical off day away from football look like for Osa?
Like on a Tuesday?
Yeah, or just like if you have bye week plans, like just away from football.
Chilling. Like, might go do something, get some food, go to the mall, go to Top Golf or something like that. But for the most part, like, I like to get off my feet, relax, watch TV, and then a little travel. You know what I mean? Got into yoga in the off season, so I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of that this week.
You mentioned Top Golf. Something that I've kind of learned that's a reoccurring theme with this team is that they're very into bowling. J-Ron Kurz told us on the show a couple weeks ago that he bowls. Micah mentioned yesterday that him and Damone Clark compete, and Micah says he's a good bowler. Are you into the bowling scene, or what's the deal with bowling with the Cowboys?
I can bowl. I'm not, like, super into it, but I can bowl a little bit. Not so much of an accuracy thing. Like, if I get the ball to go straight, I'm probably going to get a strike just because, like, I throw it so hard.
Yeah.
But that's, like, all I got going for me.
So you've never gone bowling with any of the guys here?
I actually did. I went with DA and Chauncey on, like, during DA's birthday weekend.
Okay. Were you the best?
No. I hold my own, though.
Okay.
So, but you need to develop the kind of a light touch for like picking up a spare, or instead of just crashing everything into smithereens, don't you? Finesse.
I gotta definitely develop that finesse piece. Maybe get a little spin on it or something like that.
Is there any relation to that and playing defense? Are there times that finesse suits the purpose better than violence?
Yeah, kind of. But even if you're, like, in pass rush, that's about it. Like, or when we're slanting during the run, if they got us on the move or something like that. But you're going to have to be violent at some point during the play, especially as an O lineman or a D lineman. So, like, you have, like, a little bit of finesse mixed in, but it's probably going to end violently. You're going to hit somebody at some point. Like, that's just what it is.
And kind of sticking along those same lines, a little birdie told me that you're a pretty good wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
3-time state champ. Just talk to me a little bit about wrestling, what drew you to the sport, and tell us how good you were at it.
I mean, I wrestled for like 7 years. So I started when I was like 10 just because my brother wrestled. And my mom, like the middle school and the elementary school were like right across the street from each other. So my mom didn't pick me up from school until he was done with practice. So I'd have to just walk across the street and watch them practice. And I'd just get really bored watching them. So then I begged them if I could join. And I was never good at basketball. It's a finesse sport.
We're learning.
You know, that's not really, it's not really my strong suit. So I learned quickly that wrestling was kind of like where it just felt more natural. So I kind of got into that, and I chose to do that in high school. And I feel like just over time, one, just because my brother was 3 years older than me, so I was able to practice with the high schoolers when I was in middle school, like in the off season. And I ended up doing it year round for basically the entire time that I was in high school. So just from not stopping and like always improving, I was able to get really successful by the time I was a sophomore. That's when I won my first state title and I went undefeated. But I realized after I won my first state title, I was like, the reason why is because I didn't stop wrestling all year. So then when I applied that same that same work ethic to football, I started seeing more success in football as well.
Were you playing football at the same time?
Yeah, I started playing football like 2 years after I started wrestling.
So there was a little overlap.
Yeah.
You're talking about wrestling, like Olympic wrestling.
Yeah.
But you're an impressionable young teenager at that point. While you're doing that, WWE's got to come across the screen. Oh no! Look at that face. No. That is a sneer, ladies and gentlemen. That is a look of derision.
It's not like actual wrestling. It's different.
I can respect that, though, because my first job was in Montana, and so we covered a lot of wrestling in Montana, and you would say the same thing where it's like, oh, like, who's your favorite WWE wrestler? And they would, that same look that you just did, that's exactly how they feel, too, because it's a little different. I think I think WWE is a performance.
Yeah, and I definitely respect the athleticism that it takes to wrestle. My agent represents some WWE wrestlers, so knowing, like, I know when to be impressed and when they're just acting, you know what I mean? Just after watching. And there's a lot of stuff that you can't fake out there, you know what I mean? Like, it takes actual guts and athleticism to be able to do, so I'm more impressed by that than anything else.
Was there ever a time when you were wrestling that you thought, oh, I could do that, and how much do they make again?
It didn't cross my mind. I was trying to play football the whole time. I loved wrestling, but I knew that I wanted to go further in football.
So I'm going to ask you the obvious question here, but how does wrestling translate to football? What lessons did you take from being a wrestler that have now applied to football that help you?
I feel like it just helps me with my balance, leverage, core strength, pad level, but more than anything, just my mental toughness.
Does the name Dwayne Johnson mean anything to you?
Yeah, The Rock?
Yeah.
Look at the eyebrow.
Football, wrestling. I mean, when you're done with this in, 10 years or so, you could still transition. Was that someone trying to get ketchup out of a bottle, or were you applauding Osa playing about another 10 years? I mean, could you see yourself doing that?
Like going into the WWE?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I feel like it would be cool to be a part of. Like I said, the athleticism is impressive, so I'd have to train a little bit just to be able to do the flips and whatnot. But, I mean, they're getting paid quite a bit. Like, I would not be opposed to that.
You can have Cavante help you with the flips since he's out there backflipping on victory formation. Something else that I wanted to talk to you about that I wish I had a chance to speak to you about it when it happened, but you had a movie night a few weeks ago where you opened up to the community, had people come in and watch movies. Just tell us a little bit about that and why doing things like that is so important to you to be involved in the community.
Well, that was like my second foundation event. Me and my family started a foundation this past off season just to be able to give back a little bit. And that's just something I feel like we're starting, just the movie nights starting kind of small and slowly picking up as we go. But just getting the foundation started and giving back is something that's been important to me for a while. And especially when it comes to single-parent families and just youth, you know what I mean? I feel like I didn't get here by my own strength. God willing, I was able to get to this point, and a lot of people were sacrificing and pouring their knowledge into me to make sure that I was able to grow up and become a stand-up guy and have success, So just being able to pay that forward, finding opportunities to pour in where I can to the youth because I know they need it, and just taking the knowledge that I've gained getting to this point, just being able to give it back and just using the platform and just the ability that I have to be able to put things on like that, to do it and just have an impact where I can.
What was the community's response to that? I mean, I think you guys watched Lyle Crocodile was at the movie. Just the community's response to that, and maybe some other events that you have coming up.
Is that any good, by the way? I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. It's a musical. So if you like singing, dancing, I think you'll enjoy it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay.
More than I expected, actually.
Okay, good.
Got another movie night in the works. We're going to be announcing that here in the next couple of weeks. Getting a turkey giveaway on the way, just be able to give people a little bit of food during the holidays, just help out how we can.
I rudely interrupted you when you were about to answer Haley's question about how the community responded to the movie night.
I feel like they responded well. The turnout was good, so I feel like it's going to be able to pick up, and just people are kind of, as they hear about it, they're going to be coming in larger and larger numbers. So I feel like the community response is great.
What's the genesis of that whole foundation idea? Did you start thinking about it when you were at UCLA?
It was something that me and my older brother were talking about, just because, that's part of the reason why that I play football is for my mother. You know what I mean? Just to be able to help her and take care of her. So just to be able to, and she's like a very big part of it as well. You know what I mean? She's the president. So
is she doing the heavy lifting, Osa? Tell the truth. Is she making the decisions?
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely doing a lot of the ideas. She's meeting with people. She's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Shout out to you, Mom. But she has like such a heart to give. So wanting to start that just so she could have something that she does to be able to give back as well, and something that we could all be a part of because it's something that's important to all of us. So wanting her to be heavily involved is just, that's just natural. And like I said, she has the heart to give. She's been in the medical field for like a very, very long time. So just taking that same heart that she uses in the medical field and applying it to this foundation and putting the work in, So she's doing a great job. She's doing a really great job.
It's obvious that family is so, so important to you. I think I read you have 3 brothers. Is it the 4 of you?
3 older brothers, yeah.
Okay. What was that like growing up with 3 older brothers?
I'm a pretty observant guy today, I would say, because of that. When you're in a position where you have zero say, you have to just kind of watch, just sit back and watch how things are done. So I feel like I picked up, just learned a lot of game from doing that, and just, I have a pretty observant eye, Also added to the mental toughness piece, just, getting whooped on a little bit. I walk into a school where everyone's my same age and size. Oh, like, I'm not afraid of any of these people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it gave me the confidence just to be able to go out into the world.
Have you ever talked to Jake Ferguson about that experience?
Having older
brothers, and he said something about having an older brother who routinely would put his head through the drywall, and he learned then that he needed to be tough, but that he liked the contact and that kind of thing. Anything like that happen?
Kind of, just because like we're always roughhousing.
I was going to say, I like some of the reactions out here when you said that. People were like, what?
Yeah, that's what he said.
I know. I was going to say, have you ever been through drywall before?
No. If we were to do that, my mom would kill us. So she wasn't going to be replacing any drywall or anything like that. So we weren't like breaking the house. Well, she had these glass angels.
It wasn't the drywall.
She had these glass angels that she loves putting around, and they would these little porcelain.
Oh, I don't
things.
like the sound of this already.
Yeah, they would break it here and there.
How many glass angels were there at the very beginning?
I didn't even keep count.
And how many are there now?
A lot less.
Fewer.
A lot less.
Yeah, fewer.
I couldn't count how many that we broke or chipped just over the years of rough play. But I feel like it's a similar experience, you know what I mean? Like I said, you get whooped on, and then you go into school or you go into a sport. You're like, 1, I'm not going to get bullied by anybody. And 2, like, I'm not afraid to compete with any of these people because they're not this 12-year-old. They're like, or like, they're not this big teenager. They're just, you know what I mean? They're my age,
Did you ever reap the benefits of being like the youngest? Like,
yeah,
you got
definitely.
special treatment from mom, maybe?
Definitely had a little bit of extra protection from mom just from being the baby. But I feel like at a certain age, it's kind of like we're all in this together. You know what I mean? So learn not to tattle or anything like that. It's like have your brother's back over anything. Learn that over like at a very young age.
How many of your brothers played in the league? At least one of them played.
Yeah, my brother Oa.
Is he still playing?
Nah, he played for the Giants for 2 years.
But he's the only one who played in the league.
Yep.
Did he help pass on any wisdom that made it easier for you when you got in?
Definitely. I think you asked me this last time as well.
Yeah, but you know what, Osa? Everybody didn't see that. It's an old question, but it's a new audience. So
I got you. But like just like I was saying, like the body care, just hammering that into my head and just taking care of my body, being coachable, knowing the reason why I play the game. Just because like he went through a coaching staff change at UCLA. So one of the first things that he told me, like, if you're going to this school, then you're going here for the education and the opportunity. You're not going there for any coaches or anything like that, just because you got to be mindful of the lack of security that they have. Like, they could be here 1 year, gone the next. So just make sure that you're not here for any coaches or anything like that. So, and then sure enough, like year 2, Jim Mora's gone, Chip Kelly's there. So dealing with that transition, just kind of looking back on the advice that he gave me and just doubling back on the reasons why I went to that school, which is for the degree and for the opportunity to make it here to the NFL.
Okay. Some of you, I hope, will awaken from your Halloween slumber, and you have questions for Osa. We're at Cane Rosso in the Star District in Frisco. Osa Odighizuwa is our special guest, and we'll be right back. We'll have a microphone to pass amongst you. Hold your hand up if you've got a question for Osa. We'll be right back. Yep.
To the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
Welcome back to Cowboys Hour, presented by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys.
We were almost deep into an anime conversation.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say we were talking anime on the way in.
talk
Osa
about
says
that all
his
day.
favorite anime is Bleach.
Yep.
He was mad at me that I said I was conned into watching Naruto.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Say more.
That's as far as
That's
we
like
got.
one of the. I feel like that's the big three. It's like a classic. So to say you were conned into watching a classic is like nuts.
Conned probably wasn't the correct language. I had to be very strongly convinced.
There's a lot of context here, Osa, that we really don't want to get into.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
Yeah, probably so.
yeah.
But still.
So, what makes good anime?
Character development, probably the biggest thing, because without it, like, you're watching exactly the same stuff over and over again. And you were saying that about Naruto, and I feel you, because there is a lot of flashbacks in
So
the
many.
fights. You know what I mean?
The amount of times I saw Naruto and Sasuke battle on that mountain with the river between.
Did I say that to you about Naruto an hour ago? Did I not say the same thing?
I mean, yeah, I mean, just because it was such an important moment, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're going to draw back on that a lot. But it's good because you see the character development. Like, you have a kid that's, like, super goofy and undisciplined to start, and then, like, over time, like, he's super dedicated, and he's working harder than anyone else to see his dream come true when no one else believes in him. So I feel like the takeaway and just watching him grow throughout the series is really cool.
So if you're a character in that show, which character are you and why?
I feel like I could relate the most to Naruto just because, like, he was, you know what I mean, like, goofy.
So
just,
goofy.
Like, yeah, goofy, dorky kid, and just working hard. You know what I mean? I could relate to that. Sasuke is my favorite just because, like, he's cool. Like, his
Yeah.
character, like, his powers are dope. Like, just Sasuke is dope. But could definitely relate a little bit more to Naruto or even, like, Obito when he was young because,
Yeah.
like, the same.
I'd have to say Sasuke's older brother is my fave.
He fumbled. I'm sorry.
Excuse
Hot
me.
take. Everyone, if you've seen the show, you agree that Itachi fumbled. To
He
be
did.
honest,
He did.
Like,
I
he
will
didn't have
say.
to do all of that, but he's cool. But nah. I feel like the path that he chose was very unnecessary.
Do you have any teammates who you can have this conversation with?
I have a couple. A
Who?
lot of the O linemen. I know Tyron Smith for sure. Like, we could talk.
Ooh.
Tyron, because of his
That's
kids?
So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's because of his kids, but, like, I think he probably put his kids on the anime. But Tyron reads, like, manga and watches anime.
Who's your favorite anime character, Brad?
I mean, I couldn't possibly top anything that you. My son is huge into anime, and I'm dying to have him here right now to carry on this conversation for
Chauncey
me.
too.
We say again.
I said Chauncey as well.
Okay, I have no idea what you just said, but
Chauncey.
that's good. No, I get it. Joe Trahan's got the microphone from the Cowboys PR staff. If you have questions, and if there's an anime question right there, I'm buying Joe Trahan's drinks for the next week.
I wish I did.
Okay, I'm so glad you don't. Okay.
Hey, Osa, how you doing?
I'm good. You?
Good. I'm doing well. Black Essence EP. I had a question for you. So every defensive player has that one quarterback that they wish they can get to. Who's that one quarterback where it's like, if I get that on my resume, I'm doing good?
It was definitely Tom Brady. We played. I mean, he's a GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure,
So
for sure.
definitely Tom Brady. I was right there, but like I was saying, like, you got to win really, really fast if you want to beat Micah to the quarterback. And I didn't win fast enough when we played
Can't
the Bucks
with the
this
Micah
year.
shade.
Well,
No,
man.
it's not shade. Like, dude's doing his thing. You know what I mean? But it's just part of that competition.
Yeah,
if you
of
want to win,
course.
you're gonna have to do it quickly. You know?
Absolutely. Thank you, Osa. Appreciate you.
Yep.
How would it be received if they actually gave him an offensive play or two?
How would it be received?
I mean, Dak and Coach McCarthy both said, "Oh, okay, now we're not going to hear the end of Micah wanting the ball."
Definitely not. He would want the ball a lot. But I mean, he got the speed. Clearly, the good feet that he gets from wrestling. You know, I think he could do good things with the ball. Like, you could damn near have, like, well, I'm not gonna say all that, but you know.
I thought,
You remember? I don't know if you watched Miles Jack at UCLA at all.
some.
Yeah, I don't know if he would be on that level per se, but potentially, you know what I mean, just on terms of
I saw him.
athleticism.
I saw him play some at Penn State, and I saw the Cotton Bowl that he played in, and I said, "Can you imagine trying to cover that guy on a fade in the end zone? Impossible.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen." This better not be an anime question, Joe.
No, it's not. Hey, Osa, how you doing?
Good, you?
Good. My question is, who has been your toughest matchup far as offensive lineman that you went up against?
I hate to say it, the Eagles, they had a pretty good offensive line. You know?
The way this room just sighed.
Yeah, but I mean they do. It's true.
Facts.
What would you have been over the right guard?
I mean, I
Both
feel like I
guards?
lined up at least once against everyone, so
Oh.
I just feel like across the board they just have like probably one of the better, if not the best, offensive line that we faced all year.
There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah, my name's Don. Real quick, Brad, you need to school them on the original anime Speed Racer.
Well,
We all know that's your favorite.
I could do better on. No, that doesn't count.
Joe's
tried.
like, yeah.
No, Joe wants free drinks for a week.
Yeah.
At least I know. At least I know who Go Speed Racer. At least I've seen that.
There you go.
All right.
Real quick question for you. I know every team's got one, but who's the player that needs the mani-pedi before they go out each week?
Ooh.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure Chauncey actually got a mani-pedi this week. I wouldn't say that he's like typically one of those guys. He's a pretty clean dude, but like we had just noticed that he got his like a manicure and a pedicure this last week, and we're talking about it.
How would you know if he got a pedicure? Are you paying attention?
You
I don't
could
mean
tell.
you. You could tell. You could tell.
I mean, you take your feet out of a cleat, they're gonna just be pretty gross and
Anyway.
messed up. So when you don't see it like that, you clearly got them done.
Okay.
they don't look anywhere like they don't look like football feet anymore. They're just like regular feet. You had to have got them done to have them
All
looking.
right. That makes sense.
I was
You
going to
know.
say, you could tell. You could tell. This is
We
different.
wouldn't be looking at. Yeah. Okay.
Brad is fed up with that.
No, I'm not at all. I'm just feeling like I need a nap. That's all.
So obviously, how you doing, Osa?
It was good.
I'm wondering. Obviously, the team's goal is the Super Bowl, but like, do you have any personal goals for yourself for the season, or just for your career?
I do. I tend to not share those with a lot of people just because that's just not something I do. And I actually heard a study recently, like while I was listening to the radio, super random, that the more you share your goals, the less likely you are to achieve them. Just something about having the satisfaction of achieving the goal without actually doing it, just by talking about it, and people will praise you for having the goal. So I'm not even going to get into it. You know what I mean?
So that's really interesting.
I've always, like, you feel me? I always believed it, but after hearing that, it just kind of like reinforced just not even really getting into it, just keeping it between you and yourself. You could talk about it when you accomplish it.
I love that.
I endorse that idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're done. We're good. Okay. So we've got just a couple of minutes left. Will you do you lift or run or anything during this week? You said before you're going to chill, but I mean, how chill will you chill?
I'm probably gonna get a couple light lifts in. Gonna run a little bit, get cardio in. Like I said, couple yoga sessions and a lot of treatment.
How far ahead do you look at the schedule?
I take a week at a time.
Do you know who you're playing next?
The Packers, I believe.
Very good. Will there be any conversation, do you think, among the players about Mike going back to Green Bay?
I mean, I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet.
He doesn't want to talk about it either. He
No,
told us this morning.
I feel like it'll be more about getting the win, if anything, than him revisiting Green Bay.
Just real quick, something I wanted to ask you earlier when we were talking about the game, but Damone Clark getting in on yesterday and playing a lot more than what really anyone anticipated.
Glad to see it.
You have watched his journey to where he's gotten between having that surgery back in March to where he's at being on the field now. Just how incredible is what he accomplished yesterday, and how proud of you were?
I'm super proud of Damone. Good job, bro, if you're seeing this. Really proud of you. I feel like that's something that's inspiring just because, you know, the game is not easy to play. You know, everyone, you wake up and you got to go to work every day, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But when you see someone like him go through all that hardship and then overcome it and be able to come and play like he wants to and have that passion and show the love and just be able to overcome that adversity, it's very inspiring. And it makes what you do on a regular day, like a day-to-day basis, a little bit easier because, you know, like, I'm healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm healthy. I get to do this and feel pretty good. You know, aches and pains here and there, but I'm getting treatment. I'm taking care of my body, and it's going well. So when you can see, like, when someone's going through it and they overcome that, like, it just makes it a little bit easier because, you know, like, I might think this is hard, but it's really not anywhere near as hard as what Damone went through and the adversity that he had to overcome.
Will it take you long to get into your costume tonight?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, good. We're going to let you have time. Osa Odighizuwa, tell him thank you, please. And
Thank you,
remember,
guys.
we're off next week. Haley and I will be right back here at Cane Rosso in the Star District in Frisco in 2 weeks on the Cowboys Hour.
Yep.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!